Uh, Another episode of Friendship is Kind.
I don't know how to close the whiteboards.
Oh, okay, I did it.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Yeah, so that's actually a huge breakthrough, Sauce. So dude, Sauce, what the fuck is up, Kyle? I think just having like a headquarters that isn't my parents' house is gonna be a huge, because I really want to put I mean, everything's good quality now, but even like if we step it up even a little more, and then that'll make I just need to figure out the interviews thing. Like if any of our listeners have an idea, I know this is so like, but
Hilarious.
like asking our audience for like tips on how to do
like
it.
tech tips, please, guys. Right after this whole professionalism spiel.
But but honestly, if we had just because it's always so janky when we do Zoom interviews.
Yeah.
Like what is the answer? I guess I just have to sit down and figure it out. Figs it out.
The only, you know what's so funny? There's been this is not funny at all. I need to stop saying that. You know what's a thing that happened? A bunch of people have just over the duration of us doing this have DM'd me and been like, yeah, just have your guests. Yeah. So just have your guests record local audio. And I'm like, no, we know that, but it doesn't always work that way. It's not like these people have professional microphones most of the time anyway. You know what I mean? Or like a setup where it would even be worth it to do that. I don't know.
The ideal scenario would be to have a Steve-O style bus thing that we could just drive around and interview people.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious, Sauce. That'd be hilarious.
The traveling.
Yeah, the traveling podcast. It's funny. No, I think having a home base will be dope.
Yeah.
That isn't my parents' house. Because
living your parents' house is nice.
That's the other thing I wanted to talk about, just like living with your parents as an adult. I think in theory, I was like, this is going to be great. I'm going to save so much money, but it's not a good idea.
It's not possible. No.
It's like, yeah, and I want to hear other people's thoughts on this because it was definitely like I fucked it up. Like it was totally my fault that I'm in this circumstance. I'm thankfully like I'm out of it now, but so I'm not like confused as to why I was in that situation, but yeah, it's like your parents are never going to look at you as a like you're always going to be their kid.
Yeah, no matter what.
They're not going to be able to look at you as like not their kid.
Yeah, I don't know. When I moved in with my parents again after college initially for like 6 months, 6 or 8 months, I don't remember what it was, to save up some money. It was like we're just at the age where, and some people, this isn't age restricted, or unique to age, but like God, at least I'll say for me personally, I'm at the age where, and my parents live in a ranch, just to preface, a small house. Like I need privacy and there isn't any there. So it's less my parents, more anyone living with anyone at this age.
I'm the same way. I don't like people fucking up my vibe.
I know. Oh my God. You never did.
I never did.
Your room, always a specific, that crystal thing, the turtle statue thing.
I have my little treats.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, this sucks and I need to do something about it. And rather than like, because I did ask for a little bit of like consultation and I was like, what do you guys think about this? But it's one of those situations where they're going to have an excuse for every reason why I shouldn't move out. Like my mom's like, why can't you just stay here and live with me forever?
That's funny.
Like, that just does not sound fun to me. Like I love my mom, but
yeah,
it's like no hate, nothing personal.
Yeah, no, I love my parents. I'm super close with them, and like genuinely, I like being like around them. But like, dude, I mean, you've seen my parents' house. It just doesn't work like at all. It's less the house. It's just really like, I don't want 100% of me on display for my parents 100% of the time.
Yeah.
At this point.
We've been there.
Yeah, we've been there. Holy shit, we've been
Are
there.
you referring to like smoking herb?
Just everything, dude. Like everything. I'm like, I want to show my parents the part of me that's like a product of what they raised, and rather I don't want my mom to see me at like 6 a.m. like smoking weed. Like, hey, you know,
that's funny. That's
I'm
true.
using drugs early in the morning, first thing.
Hey, what's up?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy because you're like a person. You've like found your groove and you've become who you want to be.
Yeah.
Or at least I hope you are.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you definitely are who you want to be. And yeah, it's like you don't want to feel ashamed for, let's be honest, hitting the pipe at 6 a.m.
Yeah, at some point it's like these are your decisions and mistakes to make on your own time, and it's like it sounds so crazy, but it's like I like that I have the privilege to make mistakes. Like if I lived in my parents' house right now, I'd be like such a better version of myself, if I'm being honest, but artificially so, and that's not the point, I don't think.
Right.
You know, I'd rather live how I am.
That's how I feel right now.
And have less money and make mistakes and whatever and do it and learn and grow.
PSA cards.
Buy PSA cards.
PSA
Dude,
cards.
People fucking hate the cards.
I know. That's the other thing I want to talk about is like, I think we definitely went off on the whole cards thing last time.
Yeah. Like,
I love talking about cards, but I get that our fans aren't really into it, which is fine.
I totally get it. Too.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry on the cards.
We definitely geeked out there. But yeah, in one respect, I'm also not sorry.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm not sorry either now.
Yeah, no, wait. Now I get it. It's like it would be like, I don't know, someone talking about something boring that you don't give a fuck about. I totally get it.
I think it'd
be like if we had to listen to someone talking about Magic the Gathering.
Honestly, I don't think it's that. I think it's that people signed up for comedy, at least, you know, any podcast that is like started with you is like, okay, comedy podcast. And then it's like, you're just talking about cards with me. People are like, this isn't funny.
So this Charizard I pulled.
People literally are like, one, this isn't funny. And two, Nate sucks.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? I'm like, okay.
True. Did people really say that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What for the last episode?
Yeah. I was like, whoa, okay.
Wow.
Couple people, I've had a couple DMs that I've like shrugged off, but if we're talking about it, I've been like, dang, whoa. Okay.
Really? What'd they say?
Yeah. Just like super negative, like, fuck you, you suck, where's Casey Fry type of shit. And I'm like, I don't know, man.
I don't get that at all.
I totally get it. No, I totally get it.
I don't.
Like if I were watching Impractical Jokers and all of a sudden instead of Sal and Joe, they had fucking Mike and Scott, who are just randoms, and they're like, oh, they're Murr's cousins. I'd be like, oh, well, I don't care now. You know?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. To a degree.
But whatever.
Yeah. But you have to just like get over it in life, you know?
Hey, they have to get over it. I'm here still, at least until I'm fired. I'm here.
You will never be fired because cousins don't fire each other.
Hashtag fire Nate in the comments.
Hashtag Nate rocks. Hashtag leave Nate alone.
Hashtag leave Nate alone. I mean, you get hate comments too. I'm not the only one. It's just ours are different.
What do I get?
Oh, you get them?
I don't really look at them.
You don't really get them on the podcast though.
I just get them in like real life.
You just get them on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Like anything you post with like our family that like is something that would do like 2,000 likes or something. You know what? Actually, I'll take this moment to say someone left a hate comment about you on Friendship is Kind. You saw it and you blocked them. And this was years ago. And apparently they were, you were one of their favorite creators. And they feel so fucking bad that they made you feel bad in any type of way. And they were like, can you please get Nick to unblock me. And I was like, honestly, I don't think he like thought about, like, I didn't even respond, but I was like, that's something you just like, once you reach the amount of followers you've reached before on platforms, you just sort of like autopilot that shit. You just see a hate comment and block it. You're not really internalizing each and every one. At least I'd hope
Sometimes
not.
I do.
I do, because I don't get many because I'm not that popular. So when I get them, I'm like, dang.
That
Like, because let me go off on just like a mini tangent.
Okay.
When Nash Greer or like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast get like hate, it's like, well, they're fucking so big. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? You know what I mean? But I'm like, as like a relative nobody, I'm like, dang, kind of punching down on me, huh? Not that I'm impervious to it, and call me out and hate on me if you hate me, but I'm just saying it's funny. I'm like, whoa, holy cow, this person really fucking dislikes me. To like make a comment about me is like, whoa.
Yeah.
You really care, that you really want me to know that you don't like me.
See, the thing is, I can see myself in those people that are like trolls and stuff. Cause I'll be honest, like I did that shit when I was definitely not telling anyone to fucking kill themselves or any, but I'd be like, oh, this is cringe. Or like, there were some rappers that I thought were really lame, and I made some videos making fun of them. They were like up and coming from like where the fuck was it? I don't know. It was really stupid. But I didn't think anything of it. And I totally know that all the kids who are doing that shit, like if they really were like had to sit down and critically think about like the damage that they could possibly be doing to someone, like I'm sure a lot of them will be like, fuck, that's wrong. I'm sure there would definitely be some that don't care. They're like,
I think it's
pathological liars.
Dude, you're entitled to think and say whatever you want, but if what you're saying is truly only has like negative implications and doesn't better anyone, you're not like constructively being like whatever. I feel like a good rule of thumb is like, picture whoever you're saying that to having their worst moment or having their worst fucking day. Would you still say it to them?
Right.
Probably not. I mean, some cases I've definitely been a shithead and I've literally done that moral thing in my head and have been like,
still just said fuck it.
I'm still making the comment because
it's funny.
You know what I mean? Because it's funny and who cares? You know what I mean?
Because I found out the card that Jake wants.
Yeah. Did you actually find out what that is?
No card talk.
Yeah.
That was a test. You failed.
No card talk and less about me moving forward. Dude. Amber Heard.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that whole thing.
I'm not educated on it.
She's canceled AF. That's all I know.
Yeah.
She has to pay Johnny a big old fat lump sum of cash.
I mean, good for Johnny winning that in the moment and in the short run. But I also think like,
did you see him rocking out like at his rock show?
No, but that's funny.
There's a video of him just like, yeah, I guess he plays guitar in some band, but it's like him with seriously like 90 necklaces on, just like jamming out in front of this crowd with his fucking guitar. And
he originally wanted to be a rock star.
Yeah, well, he's definitely living out that fantasy right now.
Yeah. Did you see the video where he's like saying hi to like a bunch of young fans and he's like, oh, look at this, my fingers are still right there, and it's like, I don't really think you should be don't involve the kids.
What do you mean?
Whether you won the case or not, and whether she did anything was wrong.
Oh, he was in the hospital.
No, it wasn't that one. It was like it wasn't the one where he was in the hospital and he was like,
he's like, cut off me finger.
Oh, I cut off my finger and I was opening a bottle of rum. No,
sometimes a pirate cuts his finger off.
Yeah.
When he's on the 7 seas.
It wasn't that one. It was like a more recent, like paparazzi is like flashing in his face, like surrounded by people, and he's like saying hello to a young fan and like is like showing off the finger and like, but not in.
Is this after he poured himself a mega pint?
Probably.
I want to pour a mega pint of Bang Energy, my favorite thing to drink.
Dude, okay. Maybe the Amber Heard thing wasn't that great to talk about because it's sort of like the jig's up on that, you know?
Should I shave my beard? Takes about 2 months to grow back to this.
Are you still feeling caveman mode?
Oh, that's true. I do kind of feel caveman-y. I really want to stop. Dude, this is so sad, but let me know if anyone has some strugs in the comments. I think I really want to stop smoking. Because I'm like
Delta 8 or weed and everything?
Just everything, because I'm like, fuck, I don't want to mess my lungs up. And also, I just don't think it's good for my brain anymore.
Yeah.
This is totally personal. I'm not trying to like be evangelical, but the only thing I'm really worried about is the irritability, like anger. Like every time I go like a day, I get really angry and short.
Yeah.
With people.
No, I do too.
How do you like combat? Like, when does that subside? If anyone knows, hit me with the DMs in the comments. No, but how long does it wait? Or how long does it last for you? Like, when does it go away?
Dude, we've talked about this before. And dude, I originally cut smoking weed out a long time ago. The first time because the doctors thought I had a blood clot in my lungs.
Wow.
Which is why I was like, yeah, my lungs are fucked up, dude. And you're like, they're good. And I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about them based on what that guy said. But that ended up not being true, or I don't know. I went to the ER and they were like, go away. So I don't know. They didn't do any sort of testing on me. So, but
Gosh.
dude, yeah, I think quitting smoking weed, here's what I think. I think if you can function reasonably well without weed, then yeah, you shouldn't smoke it. You know what I mean? I think if you're like weighing your life out and you're like, I think the only way I can do this is if I smoke weed, then by all means smoke weed. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't feel like that. I feel like it's just uncomfortable and I end up not giving myself time to see it through. I end up just caving and like, dude, I bought a cart yesterday. Not a cart, but like I went to it's recreational in Detroit. Mm-hmm. So I went and bought a solventless disposable pen and smoked like a quarter of it. And then at night I was like, fuck this, I don't need this anymore. So I threw it into the woods, went back today, got another one, and just threw it back in the woods.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, man.
I don't know. I've been there. I don't. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy.
Smoking in the morning and then
I don't need this. Yeah, seriously, getting like in my own head,
being like, what the fuck am I doing right now, bro? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. That's what it is.
I feel like what am I running from? Why am I smoking? Like, what pain am I trying to cope with?
Yeah, yeah, I think there's people who don't need weed, but who benefit from it. And if you're someone who benefits from it and whatever, and you can use it, whatever.
It makes me anxious.
See, for me, weed doesn't really make me anxious at all. Like at all.
Soups anxious.
The only real stipulation I have with smoking weed outside of it's bad for your lungs is just that I'm like, I don't think I should artificially be making myself happy at all given.
How do you do it without weed then? There's the question.
I don't know. I mean, like
a nice brisk walk.
All those people who were like cold baths help me and stuff, and like, going for a walk outside helps me. I'm like,
you have to do that every day. I guess you smoke weed every day.
It helps, but it doesn't help in the way that weed does. And I think that's like the big thing that they never communicate, which is why people try to get sober and are like, fuck this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, it's not gonna be as good as smoking weed.
Yeah.
Otherwise people wouldn't fucking smoke weed. Duh.
That's my fear right now, is like the briar patch, which is like just withdraw.
Yeah, I mean,
I can go like a couple hours and then I'm like, I need it.
I get pretty bad withdrawal. It depends. Some days some days I can, or some weeks even, like if I run out of weed and I don't go and get it for 4 days, I'm fine. And I'm like on my way over to get weed and I'm like, do I even really want to? I don't even really care. You know what I mean?
How long does it take to get to that point?
Well, sometimes what I'm saying is like, sometimes it just, doesn't affect me. And some people, when they quit smoking weed, they're like, I don't get any withdrawals or any whatever. And I'm like, bullshit. But then if I think about it, sometimes that does happen with me. But dude, there's been times before where like it's been 3 weeks and I'm like, I have a headache. I'm stressed the fuck out. I still can't eat. I can't fucking sleep.
Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Jesus
like,
Christ.
For real. Honestly, if anyone who, it is kind of funny to laugh at like weed withdrawals, like putting you on your ass, but like everyone should look up this guy who's listening to this, CG Kid. He has great videos on it, like video essays on like any sort of drug withdrawal.
Does he talk about weed?
Yeah, he talks about weed. He talks about,
what does he say about it?
Tobacco. He just thinks that like weed can be addictive. You can be reliant on it, and yeah, you can get pretty bad withdrawals from it. And it is a substance to be taken seriously like anything else, pretty much.
I think I'm definitely like addicted to it for show.
And his drug of choice was meth. So it's like he has a pretty good perspective because it's like, well,
Meth?
I mean, he did fucking meth. What are you going to do? Tell him he's wrong?
That's true.
Like about his opinion on weed? I mean, meth is like 40 times stronger than weed.
Is it really?
It's something crazy. Like if weed makes your dopamine levels around 100, meth makes it like 1800.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, meth is like insane.
Do you know
like,
where to get some?
Dude,
Just
there's
asking
this
for a friend.
guy who works at Wendy's. Beep. No.
Beep.
Did I tell you that story about the guy at work who's like low key trying to sell me drugs, but like is roundabout, like speaking in tongues about it?
Like what? What are his code words?
He'll be like, I heard my buddy was telling me over the weekend. He's telling me you got an eight ball for fucking $90. Fucking $90 8 ball, $90.
He's trying to
like,
push you an 8 ball.
I was like, are you fucking shitting me? No, this is like still him talking, like selling it. He's like, are you fucking shitting me? I mean, I'm no drug dealer, user or anything, but $90 8 balls. What's that make a? And I was like, I don't know. And I know what you're doing.
Yeah, like
I know what you're doing.
Can you stop?
Yeah. I'm good on the 8 ball, man.
I don't want to do coke with you at work, bro.
I don't want to do fentanyl with, I don't want to do the shit that killed the fucking one guy that killed the truck driver.
Oh, what?
Remember that?
Uh-uh.
I was telling you
the
guy at work died and all the guys at work said we're truck driver, dad. And I was like,
oh yeah, they
okay.
Summed up his whole life. And
I was like floored by the news and barely knew him for like a week. And everyone was like, yeah, the truck driver died. I was like, holy fuck, man.
Life is a fragile thing.
There was like an inner working theory that maybe, you know, the guy trying to dish the shit for cheap could have sold him what he OD'd on potentially.
Really?
There was a theory.
A theory proposed by whom?
The inner workings of the people. I don't know. The people there. I don't know anything about any of that and don't really work with them. I sort of like audit their work. So like,
you're the foreman.
Not really. I'm like the dickhead with a clipboard.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're the chaperone substitute teacher.
Literally. So I'm like, I don't know what note to leave to Mrs. P because someone overdosed. I think it was
oh my God.
I think it was one of you in here.
One of your students had a little bit too much.
Yeah.
ODing is so fucking not a cool way to go.
No, it sucks.
Because it's like it's so preventable and like I don't know.
I don't know how.
It's like playing a video game and dying and just being like, fuck, like so pissed that I don't know. Like when you pass over to the other side, or you think you're just like, or do you think there's like something deep inside you that you're trying to, like, do you almost feel better for the person because you know that they don't have to torture themselves with drugs anymore?
I don't know. I was just going to make it like an analogy, but then I was like, my analogy doesn't serve any purpose. Like I was just going to say, it's like, dude, ODing and dying is like cheating in a video game and getting banned, like being one of the few people who gets banned. Mm-hmm. It's like it's seemingly random. Like, you shouldn't cheat and that you could get banned, even though most people don't. Some people still do. And it's like, oh my God, if there was an afterlife and I overdosed, I would be so fucking mad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would be so mad. I'd be like, come on. And I hate when people look down on people who, dude, I hate when people look down on people who overdose. And I used to be one of these people. But I mean, the reality is whether the story's fabricated or not, like, you can get laced anything. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter how trusted or whatever, or how benign the substance. It could be weed and someone could lace it and you could die,
Hmm.
And I'm sure a lot of overdose deaths are like just someone getting what was once clean, normal, regular drugs, you know?
Yeah.
No one goes out and, well, not no one, but I feel like the majority of people don't go out and are like, I'm gonna intentionally overdose today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No one.
Not no one. Certainly people kill themselves with drugs,
Oh.
but yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that shit makes me really sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad because it's like the same people who look down on people like that are like, I know it's the same people like doing coke, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, I don't know, or doing Adderall, and I'm like, I don't know, dude.
You want to hit this
Lame.
line of Adderall?
Yeah, it's lame.
Yeah, sure. I will not do that.
I've never snorted anything.
Never.
I'm too afraid. Not even like Smarties as a kid. I was like, it's going to get stuck in my brain.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah, I've definitely had a couple nose beers, but I haven't done that in a really long time.
yeah, I'm too afraid of that.
Trying to just, dude, I want to become like a Zen warrior. I want to like, at what point can you get to where you don't need anything? Like you can just be totally okay. That's the point I want to get to.
I don't know, and it's weird because I'm a strange case too. It's hard for me to even think about because I did the first 23 years of my life sober, like completely sober from like anything. And I'm like, dude, when I think back, to be honest, and this probably isn't like encouraging or anything to say, I'm like, I don't remember it being better. I don't remember being happier. And I kind of just remember being more stressed out. But I think maybe that was just the point in my life I was at. I don't know. But I don't know. And then recently I quit smoking weed. And again, this is bad to say to you, but recently I quit smoking weed and I didn't have any observable effects other than I was a way bigger asshole when I quit.
Really?
Yeah, like road rage. I'm a huge asshole, honestly, like not on purpose. You know what I mean?
See, that's what I'm afraid of. Like, I don't want to be angry all the time. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how you can be not smoking, but not engage with that angry. But literally everything pisses me off when I stop.
Well, is it something that's like, are you pissed off when you stop indefinitely, like how I am, or are you like pissed off when you stop and then if you would just give it a week, you'd be okay?
Yeah, see, I haven't given myself the time.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I did in like 2020, but I haven't. I mean, I drink those memories away. So
yeah,
I haven't had like when I did that, I was drinking still. I just need to like give it some time, honestly. Like you can't bake a cake in 5 minutes.
No.
You got to let that thing simmer, baby.
Yeah.
I guess I can be very impatient and I'm not patient enough to let myself feel the full effects of no kush. But kush is just so good. It's
so good and like
rocks my socks off.
I don't know.
It also makes me stupid as hell.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
feel like I'm not operating at my full capacity when I'm stoned.
That's definitely true. You're definitely sacrificing something and gaining something.
Yeah.
Like you're gaining, like you're gonna be less irritable, in a better mood.
Euphoric,
overall feel just better, more up for things, but you're not gonna be as sharp. Right. Trouble retaining focus, blah blah blah. I mean, that's why I think it's like it's situational. It's like weed is very situational. You know,
that's true.
Like going to Target and running errands, to be honest, even though people are like, oh, do you really need to smoke for that? I'm like, I think that's an activity you could totally smoke for.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You're not losing anything by being sober, quote unquote, for going to Target and getting toiletries. But, if you're gonna like go to a family event, maybe sit that one out on the cush, like maybe don't smoke on that one.
Or though,
Or maybe
you totally do.
Maybe you roll a huge one.
Maybe, yeah. See, this is the thing though with it is like I convince myself I don't need it, and then I end up saying fuck it and end up just doing it again.
Here's my thing. Because where I stand from it is I absolutely know I don't need it, but I absolutely know I want it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Dude, it was like,
I don't know.
Babe's dog, this is a perfect analogy. Like we play catch in the backyard, and he wants the ball, but he also wants me to throw the ball. Like he wants to keep the ball in his mouth, but he also wants to go chase the ball. And that's how I feel with the weed. It's like
that is a good analogy.
I want to not smoke weed, but I want to be high really bad.
Yeah. Dude, I think the reality is if you're looking for the same high you've been getting on weed, you're never gonna find it on life. I'm not gonna be one of those people who's gonna be optimistic and be like, you will replicate your drug high with life, because
I don't
like you chemically won't get there.
I don't fully believe that, because but here's the thing, it's definitely not as long as a high would be like smoking weed. There's definitely moments like when I was in Hawaii when I just feel like, but it's literally moments, like it's seconds. I feel like calm and at peace and just like genuinely happy, but it's so fleeting. Yeah. But with Kush, I think it lets that moment kind of like simmer.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just not realistic. Like life is, my mom said something the other night. She was like, you're not living life at that point. Like life is good, it's bad, it's happy, it's sad, it's like all that stuff. But when you're smoking, it kind of like.
What would you say to this? And this is not me weaponizing weed in my favor. What would you just say to this from a perspective? Why would I quit weed, which I'm using as a mood stabilizer, as an antidepressant, and
I feel like it doesn't stabilize my mood at all. Or you're talking about you?
I'm talking about me.
Oh, okay.
So why would I, who's using weed as that for right now, quit it and then go and intermingle amongst people on Zoloft, on fucking Prozac, I'm like, are you really sober? Isn't everyone medicating themselves with something, and isn't weed recognized as medicinal?
That's true.
So, I mean, it's at some point for me, like, and this is just, I want to just keep it honest. At some point for me, it just seems like 6 in one, half dozen in the other. Like if people are going to encourage me to quit weed, but then encourage me to go and get, checked out and then maybe get on something else, I'm like, aren't we just muddling the steps of the same thing?
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
I don't know what the answer
I'm
is.
I'm Prozac too, but I'm not like why
trying
do I need
poke
that?
holes. I'm not trying to poke holes. I'm just like, I've genuinely, I don't know either. I've thought about this long and hard, and I don't know what I think ultimately.
It's hard to really. I saw something about Tom Cruise, and he was like, there's no such thing as a chemical imbalance. He's basically arguing that human beings don't need medication, which is interesting. And see, I'm very open-minded in the way that like I have taken medication. I have also not taken. I've said like, you know what, I'm going to try with this, like without it. I definitely feel better when I take my medication, but it'd be like my mom always uses the analogy, like if you had a heart condition, you would take heart medication, like, which I kind of agree with that, but it's mental. So it is kind of like a gray area.
Pun intended. Gray matter
in your brain. Because, wow, I didn't know this podcast was going to be so deep today, because I didn't. Yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, are you like living your best life? Because when I don't take my medication, I have really bad anxiety. Like even as an adult man, I'm like, I'm going to get abducted by aliens.
I didn't get anxiety until I became an adult man. Dan Curtin and I, who we just had on, we talked about that. And I remember like, because I look up to Dan because he's older than me. He's older than you too.
He's
Whether
29,
he looks
right?
it or not. Yeah, he's like a year or two older than you.
Okay.
And I look up to Dan a lot. He's super smart, super wise, honestly. And I remember him telling me, he was like, you know what? When I was your age, I felt like Superman too. And all I'm saying is, like, maybe one day you won't. I never thought I would. And I remember, he said, I remember freaking out one day and thinking I was having a heart attack. And maybe this is a vulnerable story to tell, but hey, I think he would tell it and be okay with it. He thought he was having a heart attack and basically was having an anxiety attack, like a panic attack. And I sort of had like a similar experience. And then I was like, oh my God, like, I think like everything, dude, I swear to God, I wasn't repressing things when I was a teenager. I just had like this socially unaware confidence that I feel like the more I learned, the more like closed in I became over the years. And like the more anxious I got, just because I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's like conditioning?
I don't know.
Subconsciously?
I'm
just like, what's the point that I have to get to where I can just wake up and be like, this is a great day. I don't need anything. Because if I wasn't drinking, I would smoke. If I wasn't smoking, I'd be like, yeah, you know what, fuck weed. I'm just gonna drink from now on. Like, what? When, like, it's just so silly. I guess it's all about balance, but there is so much evidence that both drinking and smoking weed generally don't make people the best version of themselves.
True.
So I'm like, yeah. I mean, dude, I want to fucking write a movie. I know we have huge plans for the podcast. I just have huge life goals in general. Like, I want us to make a movie.
That's what I'm starting to fear right now. With weed, is that I always say there's a difference. Weed does not make you lazy, it makes you complacent. Like, I never have a bunch on my plate, and when I smoke weed, say, oh, I don't want to do that because I just don't feel like doing it. I'm being lazy right now. I don't want to do it because I'm like, I'm really just purely fine with sitting here playing guitar right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
I
like,
agree
it's
with
weirdly different. It's weirdly different. I mean, we're fucking splitting hairs and I'm trying to polish a turd on that. But you know what I mean? But
no, I agree though, because
I just fear that weed is going to kill my
drive.
young self's ability to make something of himself before it's too late. I feel like I'm gonna be like 38 and finally done with weed, but have no energy for anything. I already feel like I don't have any energy, man. I have no energy to give. I'm so spent. I don't know how,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop. Or no, I'm gonna stop. It's gonna be hard. I think I just have to understand that it's not gonna be easy for a while.
Yeah,
I'd say 2 weeks.
Have you ever tried this? Have you
Maybe
ever tried giving your weed to somebody and then being like, only let me have this after a certain time? Because I've tried that and it doesn't work for me.
I would be hitting them up at all hours of the day.
Yeah, I would give my weed to Danya and be like, don't let me smoke unless it's the evening. And then I'm so crazy and manipulative. I would wake up and be like, yeah, I know. I really want to stick to this we only smoking in the weekend or in the evening things, but like, fuck, right now would just be like the perfect time. Like, fuck me. Like, you know what I mean?
There's always an excuse to smoke.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
The same thing with the phone too, if we want to segue. But I was talking to my therapist. Yes, I go to therapy. Haha, everyone. Okay, we get it. Get your jokes out. But I was talking to him about the phone thing, and that's, I think, another huge piece of it, because when I was really making videos, I was not chronically online, which is totally a real thing. But now it's just like the magic is not there when you have your phone in your hand. Like, the analogy that I think of is you don't see any other animals walking around with like a tool that they found. Like, you don't see like a mole walking around with a little stick. Like,
yeah, just distracting itself with it all day, like not trying to survive, just like waving it around.
Literally. That's literally what it is. Like, no other creature on earth does that. So why do we think that we should have this thing on? And I know that sounds so hippie and like granola, like,
yeah.
But if you really, really think about it, like the other night we were at a dinner and my girlfriend lost her phone, or she left it somewhere, and her reaction was, she was like, oh, where's my phone? like where the like she was a fucking crackhead looking for her pookie.
Dude.
And I finally gave it to her, but then I was thinking like that is not a normal reaction
If
to
you think
have.
about it, our phones, I think Elon first said this years ago, but I think Joe Rogan was like, you think we're ever going to become cyborgs one
He's like,
day?
we already are.
He was like, yeah, we already are. I think maybe I said that before to you, but like, dude, we use our phones so much. Like, I wouldn't even blame your girlfriend for reacting that way, because it's like, dude, if you have my phone and can somehow get into it, you have everything. Like,
Yeah.
you can truly do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah,
You could
it's
change
scary.
all your profile pictures to your picture, keep my name, kick me out of my house, and then when the police come, they're gonna pull up the online profile with that guy's picture. You know what I mean?
Jesus,
I'm
I
just,
never even
well,
thought about that.
not really. It's like an elementary, it's like a cartoon way of doing it, but you know what I mean?
This is my house now,
Yeah,
dumbass.
They're gonna
Stupid
squat in your
ass.
house.
My
I've
favorite
seen
thing
some
to
pretty
do is
horrible things.
Ben has Face ID on Evil Ben has Face ID on his phone. So I go up to him, I take his phone, go up to him, show the phone his face, and then I go and text girls and say, I have a tiny wiener.
Dude, Face ID is scary.
Yeah, I don't fuck with my phone anymore. I kind of hate this thing. I hate it.
Yeah.
There's a Louis C.K. joke about how we're like, well, we hate it. I hate my phone. This is like a modern marvel of technology, and we fucking like hate every. But seriously, it is like, just like with everything going on right now, like how much of this could have been avoided if we just were out taking walks. There's literally a shooting every fucking day. It's like, it's maddening.
Yeah.
Like,
weird
it's
segue
scary.
on that, but yeah.
No, I know, but it's seriously like it's to the point now where it's kind of like I definitely don't feel comfortable, or I shouldn't say that I don't feel comfortable, but I'm definitely thinking of what if someone in here has a fucking gun.
I think that all the time.
Like I went to Target and I was like, what if someone has a gun here?
The first,
that's not normal. Like I don't want to be thinking about that shit.
The first shooting that made me think of that was the Batman shooting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That I was like, I'm never going to the movies ever again.
It's scary. Even still.
I am never going to the movies. Like, no shot, someone fires the shot off and then you can identify where it came from, who fired it. Like, movie theater is such a vulnerable,
and there's only there's two exits.
So stupid. Yeah. God, what does it take a fucking toddler to learn to lock the one door and then stand in front of the other?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, God, crazy. Going in any sort of closed theater, like even sporting events, I'm like, the view's better from home anyway.
Yeah.
Unless you have box seats, is it really worth risking your life? And that's not a joke. You know?
Do you think the shootings? Do you think anything's going to happen as far as legislature goes? Do you think the NRA is a penetrable opponent?
I don't know. And you're definitely going to split your audience if you want to really get into it.
Oh, no, I don't want to get into it.
I was going to say, you'll definitely split your audience on stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You probably already did. You know what I mean?
Just even talking about it?
Probably, because people are going to put their opinions in the comments. Maybe not. Maybe this community is more docile than that.
I'm more so just sick of. Yeah, I mean, something's got to change. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer, dude. I really don't. I don't like.
It's well, the only reason I'm speaking on it is because we live in fucking America. Like this is happening in our home country. Like we have.
That's true.
We have a right to talk about it because it's going on here. It's going on everywhere in our country. It's not just one isolated area. Yeah. That's what makes it so scary. It's so random.
Yeah. Dude, fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've thought about it so hard, and anything that I think to say is literally just like me meandering around in thought just verbally. So I'm like, God, I don't even know. You know?
Yeah.
I don't even know. And that's such a cop out on that, I guess. But I don't know.
What was it like? Is everyone just going to live inside now? Like no one's going to go out and do things anymore?
Yeah. It's tough because there's too many guns right now because, you know, it's hard to ask people to turn in their guns when they know that other people
Would they do that?
Well, you could offer generous buybacks is what people propose, like buying the gun for more than you paid for it, like incentivizing people to turn in their guns.
Okay.
But I mean, that's even a hard sell because a lot of the people don't need the money who have guns because guns are expensive. You know what I mean? So, I mean, people who have guns just in general probably aren't, they don't strike me as the crowd who are going to turn them in. And then people are always going to make the argument, if people aren't going to turn them in, then I'm not turning mine in because I want to be able to protect myself from the people who didn't turn theirs in. You know what I mean?
Valid
so
argument.
It's like, I don't know how the fuck you're going to win this one.
It seems, like both sides are equally strong as fuck.
Yeah.
Is there anything in history that has been that you could point to that's similar to this that we've learned from in the past? Like every man has a sword or something? Like, did they take everyone's swords away?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Anytime there's something like this, I always try to look in history and see if it's happened before.
I don't think we've ever in history seen like a populace exist before that has access to things that could reap you of your life instantly.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And from very long distance. Like this is like the first time, you know? So it's like we don't really have it to anything to compare it to. You know?
It's novel.
Yeah.
Fuck. Even like driving, I'm like, dude, if I accidentally cut some off, is this guy gonna shoot me?
I've got 2 guns pulled on me in traffic before.
Jesus Christ.
And people get shot and died in traffic over road rage. And I'm like,
yeah. Wait, I remember that story. The dude like flashed his gun at you and you just booked it.
Yeah, I went like 115 all the way from like Waynesburg to Washington. And my plan was to just tell any police officer who pulled me over, like, yes, I was speeding. Yes, I self-incriminated, but someone just pulled a fucking gun on me and was behind me. It was a silver Silverado with a fucking stack and one of those like tool chest things in the back bed of the truck.
He was like rolling coal, like that kind of stack.
Yeah, like that kind of stack, kind of.
Oh God.
Like, such a loser. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Was probably drunk even, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm just gonna walk. Even walking, I'm like, what if someone just, it's scary. It's fucking, it is crazy, dude. It's like I think it's in the back of a lot of people's minds right now. Like the incidents are definitely very isolated, but it's so random. And it is like anyone has access to a gun. Like you can get one. It's not hard.
Yeah.
But
people propose like licenses.
What do you mean?
Like you need to have a license to own a firearm.
Oh.
I mean, if I need a fucking fishing license.
Yeah, Jesus.
You know what I mean? Holy shit.
Or if you need a license to drink a goddamn White Claw. How can you get fucked up on claws? Wait, how can you can buy a gun at 18, but you can't pop a Twisted Tea until you're 21?
Yeah. The alcohol thing is fucked. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say we should be drinking younger. I just think that if you're going to talk about like, you know, guns versus alcohol, it's like, well, if you're allowing guns at 18, you got to allow alcohol at 18. And it's less about the alcohol and it's more about the fucking gun, you know, being way worse than the alcohol. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
Even though I'm sure alcohol probably kills more people. I don't know. I'd be curious about that. What kills more people, alcohol or guns?
At the end of the day, they're all doing it to.
Not that it matters, just curious on that.
Right.
I don't know.
That's why I'm really focusing on becoming very healthy and not smoking and drinking anymore.
Yeah.
And moving to an isolated island.
Go to Alaska.
Too cold.
Be like a deckhand.
Oh, what? Like on one of the... No, heck no. Sounds so cold.
Me like offended that doesn't sound awesome to you. Me like,
Would you do it?
that's
No,
like
you wouldn't.
that's
Come
one of
on.
those that's one of those if I'm ever calling it quits moments, I'll do that first.
Okay.
I'll try that first.
Really? You wouldn't just
Yeah.
go to the Caribbean and just like post up?
I wouldn't.
You would go
In
be a
my
crab fisherman.
scenario, I would have the money to get to Alaska and probably wouldn't have the money or the social acceptability in the Caribbean. I would definitely not go to the Caribbean.
I would go to
Is it
Florida.
the Caribbean or Caribbean? Let's fucking settle it now.
I say Caribbean.
I say Pirates of the Caribbean, but I will say the Caribbean Sea.
I say Johnny Depp mega
It's hot.
pint
It's
is hot mega pint.
Dude, you were on Moschino Doritos podcast.
Oh yeah, that was really
I don't know
fun.
if I said that right, but
He's awesome. That was a good time. Little podcast incest going on. My pod versus his pod. We need to have him on. Sorry. Oh fuck. We need to have him on this. It was great. They're
I was at a wedding all weekend. I was in Scranton.
Oh yeah, how was that? Let's switch gears really fast and talk about the wedding. You said it was
really good. Honestly,
demanding mentally.
I would say this. Yeah, because you know, my girlfriend's Lebanese and her oldest sister was getting married, so you know, there's just a lot that like you want to be cognizant of, just because like different cultures and like different languages going on. So like you're more, at least I'm like more observant of like body language. I'm just paying attention more, so my mental energy is drained more in rehearsal dinner, and then you know what I mean, the service, and then the thing afterwards, and then brunch on Sunday. Me like, well, first there was a service, and then we had to attend brunch on Sunday. It was a nightmare. I sound like such a fucking asshole right now. We're just talking about like mass shootings, and I'm like, we had to go to brunch.
Then we had to go to brunch, dude. I was at the golf course.
The brunch wasn't, but you know,
we had to go to brunch with the Worthingtons.
Yeah,
at the golf course.
No. A wedding is just, it was fun. It was honestly beautiful. I'm one of those people who was like, oh, I'd never have a wedding. But no offense to all the other weddings I've been to thus far. This was the first wedding where I was like, wow, you can do it and do it right.
It was good.
Yeah, it was really good. Not that the weddings I've been to have been wrong, but
did you sip on a little bit of that champs to the peasy?
No, I didn't even see any champagne.
Did you see any herb? Did you smoke a little bit?
Oh my god, yeah.
Really? How'd you get it there? You brought it?
I brought it. I drove. I drove across the state on the highway with it.
Wow.
Passing state troopers. Passing them.
You had your little bat.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
So cool. But so get this. I'm talking to someone whose anonymity I'll protect just for fun.
Okay.
I'm talking to someone at the wedding. There's actually a reason, but I'll tell you later. But
okay.
I'm talking to someone at the wedding, and he hits me with this is the only real universally cool to share thing with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, yeah, well, you know, blah 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 blah, it won't happen anymore because daylight savings is done with. Mm-hmm. And in my head I was like, oh yeah, but I don't know when daylight savings is, but that he must have said that because it already happened. I mean, the days are lasting until 9:30. Like it's light out to like 9 p.m. every night now. And then he was like, I was like, what do you mean it's done? Like, and he was like, it's done. Like, there's no more daylight savings. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, we don't do daylight savings anymore. I was like, well, I've seen the memes where it's like pointless and was originally done for like the farmers, but like we're doing daylight savings. Like, what do you mean we're not doing it anymore? He was like,
it's over.
He was like, dude, as of November 2023, it's done. That's the last time we're doing it, tampering with the clock, we're done. And I was like, fuck you. You're making this up to make me look stupid. And like, I asked around the whole table. No one else in the table, sitting at the table knew except for him. And then I was like, Google it. Don't go in your photos. Google it in front of me. And he did. And it's real. It's not a thing anymore.
Wow. I had no idea.
Daylight savings is done.
That's cush though.
I'm like, dude, I'm like still convinced I'm like being duped. So I'm like typing this in right now.
Daylight savings fake.
Today in the United States begins at 2 a.m. on the second Sunday in March and ends on the first Sunday. No. Okay, that's just explaining what daylight savings fucking is. Daylight savings ending?
Daylight savings over.
The U.S. Senate on Tuesday passed legislation that would make daylight savings time permanent starting in 2023, ending the twice annual changing of the clocks.
So what's it going to be now? Just noon all the time?
Dude, so literally it's funny you say that because this is ending the twice annual changing of the clocks in a move promoted by supporters advocating for brighter afternoons and more economic activity. It makes sense. I'm happier when it's brighter out longer.
Oh, definitely. It's bright out right now, and I feel incredibly
I know. I'm like, fuck,
happy.
it's already 4, and I'm like, I'm in such a good mood. I'm gonna go outside and lend a hand any way I can.
Are you?
No.
You're gonna go in the dark basement and blaze a fat
As soon as we hang up.
poop stain? Really?
As soon as we're done. Yeah.
I love that for you.
Here's the thing, dude. We can talk about it at length at a different time, like the weed thing. But like, I think quitting weed and cutting it out, just to circle back to it, is good. Ultimately, even if it's not a permanent decision, if you're like, you know what, I just need to cut weed out right now, and I will come back to it someday.
Yeah.
For me, that makes quitting easier. Honestly, being like, this isn't goodbye. This is just not right now, and you'll come back to it eventually. Like either more disciplined or when you've achieved what you wanted, or just when you feel like you can go back to it when enough time has passed or whatever.
I could see that. I'm down for that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, like, trust me, dude, you don't want to commit to not smoking weed. That's the last thing you want to do.
I think it could be really beneficial for me right now.
I think it could too. It was.
If anyone
really
else has any advice, we would love to know. I would.
Yeah, but wait, you didn't know the daylight savings thing, right?
No, I did not.
I don't think anybody knew that.
Well, Lottie freaking da.
Yeah, whip-de-dip-de-doo.
Yeah, I'm really excited to move. That's my biggest carrot right now. So I'm gonna just focus on that. And guys, the Zoom podcast is only temps. Once I have my spot, things are gonna really pick up.
We could be talking somewhere around.
We're gonna have a guest every week.
That's a lot. You know what's funny? We've promised a guest like 10 times.
I know. We're
just promise it again. Fuck it.
This is weed, dude. It holds me back.
Let's just promise it again.
Just prom again.
Here's my new saying: make empty promises until you fulfill at least one of them.
That's really good.
Oh my God.
I like that. Hold on, I'm looking at some of my other
I want to get people excited.
Topics.
Some of them who we're gonna have on eventually at some point, maybe not full length, but they'll tell a story involving Nick's dad and a very specific empty promise he made. I'm not gonna blow the lid on that because it's so funny to me, and I want to talk about it.
About Uncle Jack?
Uncle Jack's big empty promise to a very specific someone.
That is so fucking funny.
I know. I want to save that though.
We need to fulfill it though.
Put in the comments, and this isn't me trying to. I'm not. For a little bit there, I was like, what can I say to get people to interact? I'm like, just out of curiosity, put what you think Nick's dad's empty promise was to this young boy, this very young boy. And it's not me or Nick. It wasn't me or Nick. We promised this to. So think outside the box. Could be anything.
Could be Evil Ben. Might not be
Evil Ben. Might not be.
Could not be.
Could be Greedy Joe.
Oh.
So a comment would look something like, Nick's dad promised Greedy Joe blank. Yeah. What are we at time-wise? How long have we?
It's been an hour.
I was going to say.
It's 4:20 right now.
Is there anything else you wanted to?
No, just have my shows coming up. I have a little run in northern New York. I'm gonna be in
Like, is that like?
Syracuse,
Okay, go ahead.
Albany,
What about Buffalo?
Buffalo. I don't think I'm going to Buffalo for this run. Let me see. Hold on. Hartford, Connecticut.
Hartford.
So that'll be Fartford. So that'll be fun. But yeah, still doing comedy, moving into my new apartment, and that's gonna be huge for the pod. Some stability. Yeah. I want to make like a set, like a literal set, so we just know what we're doing every week.
Yeah, I'm so down. We'll even behind the scenes it.
Get Cody and Nobel to maybe help us out.
Give me your camera, not to keep, but whenever we're together, and I'll just fucking point it at you and record.
There you go. Nick's new pad, Eosis.
Yeah, Eosis. Wait, before we go, you know who you look like right now? Side note, you look like fucking Ben Roethlisberger if he's like on the sidelines with like the earpiece on, like talking to like upstairs, cool. Just because you have the beard going. And
hey guys, I need a Big Mac, and I'm about to throw another touchdown. It's something he would say.
What was I gonna say? Oh, did you send me the David Spade thing because that's like something I would say, or did you send it to me because you're like Nate doesn't like David Spade?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. He's like, I went to the Crapple store.
Someone said that to me and was like, "Is this Nate Larius?" Oh, I thought this. I got like 2 or 3 on that videos. Is this Nate Larius? And I was like, I think I finally get it. I think I hate David Spade because I'm David Spade like.
I don't think that's true.
Sucks.
No, you're not like David Spade.
You don't think?
Not at all.
It's like a big fear of mine.
He was like, because my money don't jiggle. No, it folds.
Yeah, I was like, that's not me. I would never have said that.
No, never. He's just trying to be, I don't know if it's a bit or if he seriously thinks that that's.
He's just being like.
It is kind of like it's borderline.
He's just being like, yeah. I don't like cheeky. Like he's just, I don't know.
Being a little David Spade goblin.
Yeah.
David Spade, more like David Club.
More like David Shovel.
More like David Shut the Fuck Up. More
like 50 David Spades
were used to build the Great Wall of China. The pyramids. Damn, I want to go buy some weed now.
Don't do it.
Or go find my cartridge in the swamp.
Don't do it.
All right, I won't.
Weed's such a hard thing to try and keep someone from because it's like, what are you going to do? Fucking smoke and lay down for 20 minutes?
Right.
No, I'm not trying to convince you. You really shouldn't. You should stick to it if you're trying not to.
Okay, I won't.
Okay, I won't.
It's hard. Just John. Just John. We talked about a lot today. I think we covered a lot of good ground.
We did. Hashtag boo.
I think it's important to have an opinion on for all the serious stuff that we talked about. It's like, I'm not afraid to talk about that shit.
I am at the point where I don't feel like I need to talk about it.
I feel like I'm just talking to you right now.
Yeah. Do you really?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. The thing is like, I just don't want to. It's not because I don't want to talk about those things because I don't want.
You don't want to polarize anyone?
It's not really because of that. I'm nervous about that for you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But not for me. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, if we're calling a spade, pun intended, you know, more of your viewers make up the people who watch this. You know what I mean? So you have more to lose. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, you might want to be careful. I mean, these people are going to fuck with me if you're magically canceled. You know what I mean? Either way.
I don't think I said anything canceled.
No, you didn't. No, you absolutely didn't. And you never have. But I'm just saying, like, when you talk about things like that, people, if they don't agree with you, will try and find things. It's just like, I don't know. And also for me, I'm like, I just want this to be I don't know. It's so weird because some people would want people like us to talk about this, and other people are like, I kind of just want this to be my escape from that. You know
That's
what
true.
I mean?
I agree with that. Yeah.
So if I'm ever like not talking about something, it's maybe just because I'm like, I feel like some people want to escape from that.
I think I guess that's true, but it's so in our faces that it's kind of hard. Seriously.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
it's happening like every other day.
Yeah.
I normally don't talk about this, but it hit me today. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's happening every fucking day.
No, dude.
Like it's kind of like hard to ignore.
Yeah.
It is hard to ignore.
I was going into Southside last night,
Mhm.
and in the tunnel was like 6 literally armed SWAT vehicles like storming past me. Apparently some guy like barricaded himself inside a building somewhere in Pittsburgh. I don't know. But like I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with that, because it was amidst everything. Like all the fucking recent shootings, you know. There's way more shootings that happen, by the way, that aren't listed as mass shootings, but that do involve more than one people or more than 2 or 3 people. You know what I mean? Super weird. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear more about how that news is reported.
Yeah.
Because and how that reporting of news has affected X, Y, and Z. I don't know. Just a thought.
Fuck.
Anyway.
Well, on that note,
Fuck cards.
Fuck Cars 2, the movie.
Fuck Cars 2, the movie.
Mater.
You loved that.
Mater.
I remember you loving that.
I did like Cars. I still like Cars. It's cool. Cars that can talk.
Cars was the cutoff for me.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, that was the last, like, I think it's Pixar. That was the last Pixar thing I was like,
you're like, all right, it's
akin to. I don't know.
You guys are done.
I like outgrew it. Dude, even like Ratatouille, I'm like, it's too old I was too old.
Really?
Don't you hate when people are like, you see Moana? And I'm like, I'm 30, so no, I haven't. You know?
Did the Disney adults cornering you at the party?
Oh, it's like Danya, and I'm just giving her a hard time, but like, you know what I mean?
I saw Moana. I love it.
What can I say except Moana?
Except my penis.
My pubes.
I love Moana because it reminds me of Hawaii, where I was born. I'm not Hawaiian though. Never claimed to be, but I was born there. That's like a huge thing with like kids whose parents were in the Navy. They're like, yeah, I was born in Hawaii.
Yeah. Is it really? You would know.
Yeah. I know a handful of people who are also born in Hawaii who are like, yeah, that's where I was born. I'm super proud of it. It is cool, but it's like, I'm not Hawaiian. I will never be Hawaiian.
It's super cool. I'm just glad that I'm from Pittsburgh, which isn't really true. We're from the area, but I was born in Pittsburgh.
Where were you born?
I was born in the hospital in Pittsburgh, in downtown Pittsburgh. I forget whatever one it is, but not like, oh, I was born in Washington County, which is close to Pittsburgh. So I just said, like, no, I was born in Pittsburgh.
You were born in the burg.
In the city.
Pierogies.
I hate them.
You do?
Hate pierogies. They're too, like, to me.
Yeah, I love them.
They're like, let's put mashed potatoes in a noodle and make it garlicky. I'm not in.
That's delicious, though.
I love garlic, noodles, and potatoes, but not together.
Not together. Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. Pierogies are an L.
Whatever, dude. All right. Well, shit. Can I show you guys something really scary?
Oh, wait. Before we end it, have you seen the that person who discovered they could sing recently?
No.
I'll show it to you. It's so, I know people know what I'm talking about, but I'll show it to you after this.
All right.
I'll send it to you.
Send it to me. All right, cool.
When are you home?
I'll be home after like July. I'll be home. I'm gonna post up here with Babe for a couple more weeks.
Me like Okay,
like
that
you?
works. I'm getting a knock on my door.
Oh, okay. All
This is
right.
perfect time.
Cush up.
Later.
Labris.